On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Prioritize.
To assign a higher level of importance to something compared to other things.
Examples:
Prioritize tasks. Prioritize people over cars. The organization prioritized the needs of the community in its decision-making.
Argue.
To express differing opinions or points of view, often in a heated or contentious manner, to present a case or reasoning to persuade or convince others.
Examples:
Argue a case. Argue passionately. The couple began to argue over which restaurant to go to for dinner.
Necessarily.
In an essential manner, in such a way as could not be otherwise.
Examples:
Not necessarily a problem. Necessarily true. This accident was something that happened necessarily.
Stakeholder.
A person or group that has an interest or concern in something, especially a business.
Examples:
Stakeholder engagement. Improve stakeholder relations. The organization held stakeholder consultations to gather input on the project.
Pandemic.
An outbreak of a disease that affects many people over a very wide area.
Examples:
Flu pandemic. Global pandemic. They fear a pandemic of a new type of virus.
Predict.
To state beforehand that something will happen in the future, mainly based on knowledge or experience.
Examples:
Predict the future. Predict when she will arrive. It's notoriously challenging to predict birth rates.
Suffer.
To experience pain, distress, or hardship, to undergo or endure something painful or unpleasant.
Examples:
Suffer a setback. Suffer bad grades. The older man suffers from arthritis and finds it difficult to move around.
Disease.
A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure.
Prediction.
The act of predicting the future by reasoning, a statement made about the future.
Examples:
Make my predictions. Gloomy predictions. These results muddied the prediction.
Sham.
Something that is not as good or true as it seems to be and is intended to deceive people, a person who pretends to be something they are not.
Examples:
A sham battle. Turn out to be all sham. The data he prepared was completely sham.
Vaccine.
A substance that is put into the body and protects them from disease by causing them to produce antibodies, equals proteins that attack harmful bacteria, viruses, etc.
Examples:
Development of vaccines. An oral vaccine. The mRNA vaccine was approved in less than a year because it did not contain the fragments of the target virus.
Mortality.
The quality or state of being subject to death.
Examples:
Mortality due to cancer. Lower infant mortality. This disease has a high mortality.
Continent.
One of the Earth's large landmasses. Adjective, abstaining from your feelings, especially your desire to have sex.
Examples:
The inland of a continent. Continent urinary diversion. Flight across the continent was a daring adventure in its day.
Doom.
Death, destruction, or some other terrible situation that cannot be avoided.
Examples:
Economic doom. Prophet of doom. Everyone was aware of the impending doom, but was unable to prevent it.
Laden.
Heavily loaded or burdened.
Examples:
A laden ship. Water-laden soil. The traffic-laden street was gridlocked during rush hour, with cars moving at a snail's pace.
Virus.
A tiny infectious organic material that causes disease in people, animals, and plants.
Examples:
Spread of the virus. A strain of virus. An infected person in the hospital will likely pass the virus to others.
Environment.
The natural world such as air, water, and land in which humans, animals, and plants live.
Examples:
Environment affairs. Chaotic environment. Every human is responsible for taking care of the Earth's environment.
Underestimate.
To think or suppose that a quantity, price, or size is smaller than it is.
Examples:
Underestimate an enemy. Underestimate the probability. They frequently underestimated their abilities and felt inferior.
Extrapolate.
To guess or think about what might happen or estimate something using the facts that you have now.
Examples:
Extrapolate the results. Extrapolate animal dose. This predictive model mechanically extrapolates past trends into the future.
Confuse.
To mistake one thing for another, to make somebody hard to understand.
Examples:
Confuse the listener. Confuse fantasy with reality. Her remarks confused the debate.
Vulnerable.
Capable of being hurt or influenced physically or mentally.
Examples:
A vulnerable bridge. Vulnerable parts of the body. Infants and pregnant women are particularly vulnerable.
Wholesale.
The sale of goods in large quantities, typically for resale by retailers, of or relating to goods or services that are sold in large quantities, typically for resale by retailers or other intermediaries.
Examples:
Wholesale business. Wholesale dealer in fish. Our company specializes in the wholesale of office supplies.
Lockdown.
An emergency policy for people, communities, or a country to stay where they are, usually due to specific risks, such as COVID-19.
Examples:
Go on lockdown. Lockdown area. The country's prime minister has decided to implement a nationwide lockdown measure.
Trend.
A general direction in which something is changing or developing.
Examples:
An international trend. The trend away from television. The oil price continued their downward trend.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Burden.
A duty, responsibility, etc. that is oppressive or worrisome, a load, typically a heavy one that is difficult to carry.
Examples:
Carry a burden. Burden of disease. That car has a low environmental burden.
Unscathed.
Not harmed or injured, untouched or unharmed by a negative or dangerous situation.
Examples:
Unscathed survivor. Come away unscathed. Thankfully, the driver emerged from the accident unscathed.
Ignore.
To intentionally not listen or pay attention to.
Examples:
Ignore her advice. Ignore a ban. Since independence, the area has been completely ignored.
Indirect.
Happening in addition to the main or intended aim, cause or result, often in a way that is not obvious, not following the shortest or straight way.
Examples:
Indirect taxation. Indirect lighting. He expressed his dissatisfaction in an indirect way.
Policy.
A set of rules, guidelines, principles, or procedures that govern decision-making or action, often used in the context of business or government, A course of action or plan of action adopted or followed by an organization or individual to achieve a goal or objective.
Examples:
Health policy, foreign policy. The company's new policy on remote work has made it a more inclusive workplace.
Disproportionately.
In a way that is not reasonably or appropriately balanced, equal, or distributed, in a manner that is unequal or excessive about something else.
Examples:
Disproportionately affected, disproportionately high. The rich can often disproportionately benefit from tax breaks and other advantages.
Strength.
The quality or state of being physically, or sometimes mentally, strong.
Examples:
Strength of the economy, muscular strength. Health and strength are, above all, gold.
Circumstance.
The specific conditions or events that surround a particular situation or occurrence.
Examples:
Circumstance of birth, circumstance of injury. She explained the circumstances surrounding the accident.
Vaccinate.
To treat with a vaccine, usually by injection, to produce immunity against a disease.
Examples:
Vaccinate against scarlet fever. Vaccinate every year. The nurse vaccinated the children in the school.
Welfare.
The general health, happiness, and prosperous of a person or group.
Examples:
Child welfare. A welfare state. She struggled for years to survive without welfare.
Catalogue.
A complete list of items, often including technical details and prices.
Examples:
A classified catalog. Catalog card. She used the online catalog to find the perfect pair of earrings for her sister's birthday.
Dam.
A wall constructed over a river to block the flow of water, mainly used to generate energy.
Examples:
Dam building program. Dam collapsing. The break in the dam threatened the valley.
Frightening.
Causing fear or alarm, or very surprising and alarming.
Examples:
Cast frightening eyes. Frightening experience. The news of the pandemic was a frightening reminder of the fragility of human health.
Wealth.
A large amount of money, property, or other things that someone or an organization owns.
Examples:
Majority of his wealth. Material wealth. The wealth inequality was unavoidable.
Epidemic.
The widespread outbreak of a particular disease in a large number of people at the same time.
Examples:
A worldwide epidemic. Health epidemic. The disease is now reaching epidemic proportions in our country.
Cholera.
A severe infectious disease that causes acute diarrhea, vomiting, and dehydration, often resulting in a rapid and dangerous loss of body fluids and electrolytes.
Examples:
Cholera toxin. Cholera epidemic. The outbreak of cholera was a major health crisis in the 19th century.
Measles.
A highly infectious viral disease that causes fever, red spots on the skin, and other flu-like symptoms, typically affects children.
Examples:
Measles outbreak. Measles vaccine. The school sent a notice of a measles case in one of the classrooms.
Trace.
To find or discover someone or something that was lost.
Examples:
Trace a telephone call. Trace back to medieval times. Let's trace the origins of some familiar foreign words.
Communal.
Belonging to or used by a group rather than individuals, for common use.
Examples:
Communal swimming pool. Communal combination of funds. Communal elections were held in several European countries.
Provision.
The act of providing or supplying something, a clause in a document or law that specifies a particular requirement or condition.
Examples:
Provision for loan losses. Administrative provision. The new law includes provisions for increased penalties for repeat offenders.
Medical.
Relating to the treatment of illness or injuries, relating to the practice of medicine.
Examples:
A medical opinion. Temporary medical treatment. The medical team worked quickly to save the patient's life.
Oxygen.
The chemical element with the symbol O that is present in air and water and is necessary for people, animals, and plants to live.
Examples:
The hydrogen binds the oxygen. Lack of oxygen. The passenger grabbed for the oxygen mask.
Highlight.
To make something prominent, mainly so that people give it more attention.
Examples:
Highlight a string in red. Highlight an important difference. The introduction highlighted the speaker's distinguished career as a consultant.
Shield.
A protective covering or structure, especially in the past, that soldiers held in front of their bodies to protect themselves.
Examples:
A heat shield. A shield for protecting against a bullet. Lead is an effective shield against X-rays, gamma rays, and other harmful radiation.
Elderly.
A polite word for old.
Examples:
A home for the elderly. Elderly woman. The elderly woman is quite energetic.
Philosophy.
The study of general and fundamental questions, such as those about existence, reason, knowledge, values, mind.
Examples:
Philosophy of education. Western philosophy. Ethics is a branch of philosophy.
Mount.
To increase, go up, or advance gradually or continuously, to prepare and supply with the necessary equipment for execution or performance, to ride on something or someone.
Examples:
Mount a hill. Mount a counterattack. They mounted pictures on the paper in preparation for the birthday card.
Appropriate.
Suitable or proper in the circumstances, fitting.
Examples:
Appropriate behavior. An appropriate time. It would be appropriate to dress nicely for the wedding.
Proportionate.
Having a proper or suitable balance in size, amount, or degree, corresponding or in proportion to something else.
Examples:
Proportionate response. Proportionate representation. The judge ruled that the punishment be proportionate to the crime committed.
Sustainable.
Able to continue or be continued for a long time.
Examples:
Sustainable alternative fuel. Principles of sustainable development. The government should do more to support environmentally sustainable agriculture.
Demographic.
A statistic characterizing that describes people or groups of people based on their age, sex, income, etc.
Examples:
Demographic analyses. Demographic policy. Several demographic indicators correlate with care admission.
Tide.
The cyclical rise and fall of sea level caused by the moon's gravitational pull.
Examples:
Tide cycle. Ride the tide of change. Red tide is often harmful to the local ecosystem.
Critic.
Someone who expresses opinions about the quality of books, music, etc.
Examples:
Art critic. Severe critic. Advocates for legal reform hear less harsh words from their critics.
Outcome.
The result or effect of an action, event, etc.
Examples:
Improved student outcomes. A desirable outcome. They awaited news of the outcome of the election.
Relate.
To establish a connection or association between two or more things. To narrate or tell about an event, experience, or relationship, to empathize or feel sympathy with someone or something.
Examples:
Relate a story. Relate a message. He tried to relate his experience to the group, but they couldn't understand.
Rev.
A measure of the rate at which an engine or motor rotates, often expressed in revolutions per minute, RPM, verb, to increase the number of rotations per minute.
Examples:
Low rev engine. Rev up the crowd. He stepped on the gas pedal, and the engine released a loud rev.
Economy.
The system by which a country or region produces, manages, and distributes goods and services, including the money and finances involved in these activities, of an airline, the lowest priced, most basic option for seating in commercial travel.
Examples:
Economy of scale. Economy class. The economy of the country is struggling due to the recent political instability.
Upward.
Toward the top or highest point, or a higher position or level, adjective, extending or moving toward a higher place.
Examples:
Look upward. Demonstrate an upward trend. The company adjusted the revenue upward.
Demonstrate.
To display something or give an exhibition to an interested audience.
Examples:
Demonstrate a difference. Demonstrate mastery. How can you demonstrate that the Earth is a sphere?
Homegrown.
Grown or produced locally rather than imported from another area.
Examples:
Homegrown talent. Homegrown produce. The restaurant prides itself on its homegrown ingredients sourced from local farms.
Infectious.
Able to be passed quickly from one person, animal, or plant to another, especially through air or water.
Examples:
An infectious fever. Person's smile is infectious. Leprosy is an indolent infectious disease.
Priority.
Something that is more important than other things and should be dealt with first.
Examples:
Priority call. Priority seating for elderly. Her priority is to be a mother.